So, again, and back to the line of the ball. Conceptually, this is sacred. So we cannot. You can hook or you can ride off. Or there's another possibility, which is this player goes in this direction. Helen, you want to listen to this one? This player comes in this direction. The ball is here. They both have right. They both have right. So long as this player is on this side of the line, does not cross. Helen, you were coming from this side and doing this before. So although it's a small angle, and it may not seem, it's almost, if you are on that side, that's a foul. You just have to move away. You can do the opposite, which is you can come from this side, join this line, and challenge it there. Yeah. So, but not crossing the line. Okay. Now, what happens on backhands? Because this is another one that is always tricky for beginners. This guy comes in this direction. The ball is here. Is stationary. Come here. Hits a backhander. Okay. This guy. Let's assume one is chasing here. So Tula is chasing and wanted to hook this guy. Hits the backhander. If this guy turns around immediately, there's a risk of collision there. That's a foul. So even though you hit the ball and you think, okay, that's it, the line changed direction, that's it, it's not automatic because these guys come at a speed and you guys are coming at a canter, hit a backhander. If you turn immediately, you're going to be fouling the one in behind. So you always have to, you can do this only if this guy is not there or if there is no one coming from behind. So what? And this is where the team play comes in. This guy is about to hit. When he's coming in this direction, he says to this guy, hey, turn around. Turn around there because my ball will go there. And this player has to trust that you're going to hit the ball in that direction. So if this guy already turned around before you hit the ball, he's going to be going there. And the Reds are going to be, saying, what the hell? What's happening? So you have to anticipate that. And these guys, in the higher levels of the game, both these guys will turn because they both know this guy will hit a backhander. So this guy, his responsibility is to take this guy. So he will go and try to anticipate the play. So that's where, this is typically the function of the number 4 or the back or the defender, who always have to think of the worst case scenario against his team. So if you are turning first, you're always going to have, and you're going to have time. He had plenty of time he can do this because no one's coming. So if you anticipate the play, you are going to have a lot more time. And this is why at this stage, when you guys can hit the ball, have a sense of position, it's pointless to be bunching up all in one place. Go there, spread, because Andrew can hit there, and the defenders will have to spread themselves. Okay? So this is where you have to start thinking about play. When you first start playing, what happens? You have this situation. We call it the little train. This guy has a go, misses. Next one comes along, hits or misses. Then one comes along. So everyone is waiting for the other one to miss. But now, when you realize that these guys don't miss, and if you go there, this guy will take it all the way to score, they say, oh, hang on, I need to get ahead of the game here and write him off. Yeah? Thinking ahead. So now this is the next step for you guys. To start thinking ahead of the play. What's going to happen after this shot? Or in 2 shots later. And then that's when your positions become important. Because if you have all your players 1, 2, and 3, it's easy to defend. The guy's coming the other way. Say, okay, the ball is going to go somewhere here. We're going to have an opportunity to get the ball. But if this guy spreads here and sends, okay, you go this way, you go that way, these guys have to spread out. You have a choice. You can hit here as a play. This guy then moves forward, takes it, diamond, remember? So the diamond formation. So you go right first, then you close, and then you go back in. So you have an Andrew here. and Andrew can hit at least the halfway line. It's pointless for you to be here. So Andrew, or actually you yourself will say, actually Victoria, who's very sneaky at this, goes there. And then the other player goes there. So he and she make the other team think about what they're going to do next. If the other team are all waiting, okay, I'm gonna get the ball for sure. I'll just stay here somewhere. Andrew will do like this. That's it. And you already have speed going that way. Yeah? It's going to be a lot more difficult for these guys to turn around, chase, get you. You have a lot of time here. You have 1 or 2 shots at least of advantage to go. And the same thing, you can hit all the way. Anticipation. So what happens is in a big field you have 4 players here. So you have the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. The number 4 is the back, is the defender. Number 1 is a forward, let's call it striker. Number 2 and number 3 are midfielders. So in a normal polo match, the number 4 will always be around there. And this you can move up and down the field, but it normally is the same thing. Number 2 is normally around on this side, number 3 around there, and number 1 up here. Why is it always more or less veered to the side? It's more effective always to go this way, because the guys that are defending are going to be inside, so they cannot come in front of you. If this guy wants to come in front of this ball, he has to go all the way down here. Very ineffective. So the defenders would actually be, if this guy hits in, they're going to be pointing in the same direction, trying to write this guy off. The same direction, trying to write this guy off, trying to get this right off, and trying to get the most. And the number 4 will be here, somewhere at the back, because he's the most pessimistic guy. He always thinks the worst thing can happen, that these guys will take the ball through. So he has to basically support and rectify any guys that go through. And when the ball turns around, the same thing happens. Number 4 will be there, number 2 will be here, number 3 around there, and number 1 here. And these guys go in this direction. So you have this circulation, roughly. This is what happens in a polo match. Always, go a little bit to the right, because you're going to have right of way, then cross, and so on. And these guys, when they defend, let's say this guy gets the ball, he's going to hit a backhander in that direction. Try to get one of his teammates to go and catch that ball and go forward. Okay? So this is the very basic. But back to the positions, it's important that you stay in your positions. Why? Even if you're number 1, you may think this guy has the least responsibility. Okay, he's there at the front, he has no defensive responsibilities. But if this guy is not up there, you're never going to strike a goal. So this guy can lose a game by not doing his job. These 2 normally work tirelessly in the middle of the field, just getting to and from. The number 2 is normally a bit more attacking, but he's the working horse. Number 3 is a bit like the number 10 in football. He's a playmaker generally. But these 2 guys, they hustle and tussle in the middle of the field, and then they support the number 4, and then they pass the ball to the number 1. But the number 1, whoever plays number 1, don't think of it, this is a least amount of responsibility. If that guy isn't there when the ball goes through, the number 4 will get it every time, and you don't strike goals. So it's very, very important that you play in position. In where we're playing now, let's say this is our field, there's 3 aside. Andrew, Tula, Victoria. So you have 1, 2, and 3. So this guy will stay behind, we're going to try to pass it to Tula. And then Victoria goes forward because Tula hits a massive shot, goes there. That is the play. But this guy has to be there. It's pointless for this guy to be behind. Yeah? If you're behind, what happens? He hits the ball, you have a defender already there.
And then takes it back.
Exactly. So your play, if not hitting the ball, is taking this player away so Tula can go on behind and hit it. You see? So thinking ahead. These guys already are in position. You have the play already in your mind. What are you going to do? bang, bang. And then Victoria also take the player away. Or if you are on this side and this guy comes from the opposite side, then you take him away there and Tula can come behind. Now Tula may be also chased by someone. If the other team is doing the job, she will be chased. So she needs to be ahead of the game before Andrew hits. You see? So it all comes back to the only one that has a play without Mark is Andrew here. Kick off. But these two guys. Now, one of the next sessions, we're going to do some videos of high goal playing, and you will see this immediately. How even before the ball is hit, these guys are moving around, are trying to anticipate. They're actually trying to get ahead of the game to outsmart the defense. It happens at the very beginning. How difficult it is to get through. If you're playing a very crafty players on the other side, you're lucky if you get a second shot in this. As soon as you hit the ball, this guy is well mounted. He'll never get you, let you play the ball. As soon as this guy gets you out, this one is already turning. Before you know it, inside your 60 yards, you have a play against you. You have to think ahead how you're going to play. And these are set plays in the higher level, but you can do them here as well. You can't. Okay, guys, I heard Andrew saying, okay, the same one as usual. Already have a set play. But to the right, Victoria, you were getting more and more anticipating that in those plays. Yeah, some of those. One more situation on the backhander as well. Question for you. This guy is about to hit a backhander. There's someone coming in this direction. Can this guy hit the ball and turn around? Remember what I said about?
No, because you're on that guy's line.
Exactly. So that's also important. Not just looking behind. You have to look forward as well. If this guy comes and claims at the line, he will want to hit a backhander that way. So this is the opposite of challenging the ball and going forward. This is, I'm coming to the ball, but I need to hit it that way. If I look behind, no one's behind. I hit the ball and then I turn. But Helen comes as an opposition and she's going to challenge the ball. I'm fouling her. You see?
What if he gets there first? I mean, he's just got the line and he can just hit it?
Yeah. Again.
He's just got to make very sure he doesn't remotely cross, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, it's all about danger here. It's all about danger. The moment there is a whiff of danger, if it is anything within 30 yards, normally the rule of thumb is 30 yards. You have 30 yards if you're coming at a speed. Now, there are permutations and subtleties around this. What happens if this guy, you, Andrew, hit the ball, and you suddenly stop? Do you still have line?
I'm guessing you're going to say no.
Well, if this guy comes from here and you're stationary, there is no danger.
Yeah.
So if you don't just automatically have one line forever. You just hit it, you stopped. Exactly.
What about what can happen in front of the ball?
Yeah. The Helen situation. So if Helen comes here, let's call it the Helen situation. That again is the ball is there. It is stationary. You're stationary, but you hit the ball. You left it there. She has a claim. Anyone has a claim actually. If the ball is stationary, but you can't come like 100 kilometers an hour and get the ball if there are others coming. You have to be mindful of what that can be considered dangerous play. So you have to be, even if there is no line, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Reckless riding or just dangerous riding is also penalized. Okay.
So what is the rule in this case? If 3 people or 4 come from different directions, the ball is stationary.
It might happen that the ball is stationary, and it's been stationary for a few seconds. So anyone can claim it. Whoever gets there first can create a line. So you get there first, pang. That's now my line. Everyone else have to follow that line.
But if it's just stationary, like last night was keep moving rule? Or is that a real rule or is that just for us rule?
Okay, this is an extreme situation. Ball is stationary. Miriam, I'll use your example. You come to the ball, you stand on it.
Yeah, there's like
And
So many of us, because we don't have this.
and then
like, head-
people are trying to get the ball, but you stay on it. You need to move. You need to move. If you try to hit the ball, if you miss, just move.
Yeah.
Someone else will get it. Is there danger? Maybe not. But you're interrupting the game completely.
Yeah, but the game's not moving forward, is it?
Yeah.
You cannot just keep trying to.
Yeah, but if you try a couple of times, if no one comes, you're okay. But if people start coming and then you stay on the ball,
Okay, yeah.
because the moment you have to think of the extremes here. The moment I touch the ball and it's 10 centimeters, that could be considered a line. You were coming in this direction. Charlie was coming in this direction. If it was only you two,
Yeah.
that was fine.
Yeah.
But Tula was lurking here behind, following this line. Or
Yeah.
she had more claim to that line than she did. Even though not quite. Let's say she was coming at a, say, 45 angle, she was trying to get you. So Charlie didn't foul you,
No.
fouled Tula. Eh?
I was saying, leave the ball, Charlie, I'm here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Tula was hustling and tussling and trying to get the ball. So that foul was against Tula there. Okay, I think we went through this.
I asked you the other day about, because if it's your own player,
Yeah.
you're saying that
There's
you
no
don't-
foul.
You can't foul your own player,
Yeah.
but you need to communicate with your players.
Okay. It's not technically a foul. It's actually reckless or dangerous riding. If you crash against your own teammate, that is dangerous riding. So that is penalized.
But you would still will be penalized.
Yeah. It's a foul against you.
Oh, so then.
There's also another layer of looking after the animal welfare, not be. So you're not allowed to hit the horse with your stick, as in to get him going. You don't have a whip. This is not allowed. Yeah, you have to look after horses. That's why we also say, even though it's not foul, to cross the head of your horse behind someone hitting, you're gonna hit the horse. We need to look after horses, and that can be also dangerous use of mallet.
What happens? Another player kind of hits you on the face.
Yeah, it's well, we stop play. We don't want anyone hurt. We don't want any horses hurt. So although technically it's not a foul, it can consider be dangerous riding and
It
yeah.
could be an accident, and then it's in emotion, and then you kind of get.
Yeah. Things happen like this. This is a friction sport, but you have to judge intention, whether you can avoid it, because you normally can avoid it. So if you're about to hit and suddenly you stop to hit the ball, someone comes and overshoots, that's the fault of the guy that is stopping.
Yeah.
Say, I'm gonna call it the Josita example, because Josita does this all the time. You come with the ball on Josita. When you arrive at the ball, she suddenly stops and sort of positions herself. Okay, come on, have a hit. Don't miss it. Come on, have a hit. So you need to get the horse going. But that can be considered, because what happens if Peter, who happens to be riding on Josita, not that you do this all the time, arrives in the ball, suddenly stops, or the horse stops, Tula comes here and bumps into him, or actually you hit Tula on the head with your stick. Whose fault is that? Probably yours. Tula, you also have to be checking and ensuring that you're not putting yourself and the horse at danger. But if you do that consistently, umpires will just say, okay, go and change your horse.
Classic insurance thing.
So that sort of the Josita foul is actually quite common with beginners, because you arrive, the horse, unintentionally you stop the horse as well to position, and then you have the whole raft of people coming behind. So you need to keep flowing. That's always stay at the same speed. Another one that is quite common is Peter on Josita, as you happen to be, is going to hit a backhander. Someone comes behind, I'm not going to say who, and Peter is going to hit a backhander. This player, trying to block, goes right there. Doesn't quite cross the line, but it's very close. And Peter hits the backhander and hits the leg of the horse. That is very, very common, and you don't notice it. Actually, you did a foul like this today, where you were about to hook, and then your horse suddenly stepped on the line. If the player would have hit the ball, he would have hit the horse's legs. That's not. It is a foul if you are actually crossing the line. But in the case of the backhander, what happens with the backhander? The stick doesn't stop there. The stick goes back, and the legs of the horse happen to be there, or the head of the horse, right there. So, responsibility of both the player that is coming behind to check and make sure that it's not in the way of that stick, and the player hitting the ball as well. Just look behind, because if you do that,
So you can't hook a backhander.
you can.
You can.
This is a technical one. Yes, you can, because okay, I'll get into the hooks in a second. But remember this one. So if you're hitting a backhand, there's a few things you need to check. Check behind, check forward. If no one is around, you can hit the ball and then turn around. You're not a danger. If you have someone chasing behind you, don't turn. You're going to be fouling. But also just check that you're not going to hit them on the legs. And the one coming behind, also make sure that, I'll go into the hooking now, that you are, let's say, clear of that swing. So you don't put yourself in danger.
No.
The hook on the backhand. Remember what the hooking, where do you do it? Below the shoulder. Below the shoulder. So when we are about to hit, a ver, tróvame. So I'm takatak, 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 takatak. That is a hook, valid hook. He has to be on the same side, by the way. That's a hook. Now, I'm about to hit a man up here. That is the Clara Lovat foul.
Yes.
I'm going to call it that.
Yes.
So Clara Lovat, and that, as you know, you just go riding, stick up, stick that, stick up. She was doing like, bah!
Yeah.
It was like a sword fight.
Anything to win.
Yeah.
Apparently, Manu told her to do that.
And not only that, I think she also hit someone in the face with the stick, poking in the face.
My girl.
All right. So below the shoulder. Now, what happens in a backhander? Okay. Let's say I'm about to hit a backhander and I hit the backhand like this. Can anyone hook me? Think of this one properly. Yeah.
Someone coming the other way.
The ball is here. I'm about to hit. Look at my stick.
From here. Someone coming that way.
Exactly. It can hit me when you can hook me from the front. When my stick is up there. Not when the stick is there. But yes, when the stick is there.
Oh.
If I'm doing like this, se puede eso.
Sí, pero a veces dicen, bueno, después te digo, bueno,
Yeah. So technically, you're allowed to hook there as the stick is going up, because it's below the shoulder. Now this was one that at times in certain rules was not allowed, because there was they say there was danger of dislocating shoulder. It is permitted in Argentina now. So and it annoys the crap out of people, because you're about to hit. Oh, I've got my backhander ready, and then clack. It's very annoying. But you can. That's
If I'm an opponent, I don't cross your line and you're coming down to do that, could I at that point
yeah.
hook you
Normally, okay.
as you're coming
Yeah,
down?
but you have to, normally that happens, the timing has to be perfect, because I'm going in that direction, you come in this direction.
If you're coming the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
it can be done.
What if you're parallel to them, going the same direction,
Yeah.
keeping sufficiently away so you're not in danger? Can you just stick the stick out?
A ver, mira, trabame, sigo, vos del lado del lazo. Sí, cuando la bola va ahí. That is, but he would also try to hit the ball. So what happens is,
Mira, vamos los dos del revés, vamos los dos del revés.
see, or the other way. I try to hit backhanded and he tries to hit forward. So that he will want to get the ball that way. I want to get the ball that way. So he can say, okay, maybe my best shot, because I'm a very good player, he will try to stop me rather than try to hit the ball, because he knows if he tries to hit the ball, I will probably get there first. So he would say, okay, he's attacking, I'm defending. His tactical decision there is whether he prevents me from hitting the ball, so he will do anything to hook me because someone from his team come behind, or if no one from his team come behind, he has nothing to lose. So he would try and hit the ball.
I would do this.
Huh?
This is what I would do, eh?
Yeah.
Dale, vamos. I'll just tap the ball out.
Aha.
I wouldn't hook you.
So, yeah, there's all this kind of tricks. But it's thinking team-wise. What happens next? So what happens after that hook? Is someone coming? Who's coming behind? Is the one attacking or is the one defending? If I'm the one defending, and I'm the one that is not as good as the guy hitting the ball, and I know that my player comes behind, I will try to prevent him from hitting the ball. I would not go for the ball. I will just try to stop him from hitting because I know my player comes behind and then takes it. So being aware of your surrounding is important in your decision of that play. Next layer. Yeah, but for example, if someone comes behind, let's say I'm confident that I will avoid the hook. But what happens with the ball once I hit it? If he's come very close to me, most likely, and he will try to block that ball from going anywhere. So he will actually put his horse himself forward. The ball can hit the horse. Now the ball hitting the horse, nothing happens. That's why the horses have bandages and protection on the front legs. So the ball it cannot break a horse. It's very unlikely. It has to hit it in very specific. So then the next thing, I know that he's not going to hurt me, so I have a clear shot. But I want my ball to go to its destination. My worst shot there, if he comes straight behind him, is just do a straight shot because the ball is going to hit him, likely to go forward. So what I try to do is give the ball an angle. Either I open the shot that way, or I hit a tail shot. It's called. It's a hit that way. So that's yeah.
But also knowing how to read the players and anticipation, like Pato says, you know what the player is going to do before he hits the ball because you can read him from the back. If he's going to hit an open backhand or a tail,
yeah.
And then you can kind of decide what you want to do.
This you will see clearly in these videos that I will show you. So what happens is this guy is coming in this direction, about to hit that ball, and a player of his own team is here, and he says, start standing in that direction, and said, tail, cola. So this guy will hit the ball in that direction because he has someone chasing him. It's pointless for him to hit that way. This guy is going the other direction. So this player will tell him what to do. So let's say, Victoria, you're playing with Andrew. Andrew is about to hit. Victoria, you start turning and said, Andrew, tail shot, tail. So Andrew will hit a massive backhander, tail. And then Victoria grabs the ball. Yeah. Now, normally, yeah, there are some default plays. This is the default play. Backhander tail always is more effective than hitting open because of the diamond. Remember? So if you hit tail shot, it always gives line to your player. The player that is here, Helen, has to go all the way around here to get into that play. This one gives right away normally to the defending teams, generally, 9 times out of 10. But Helen can do this, can anticipate that shot and go there first. And that's what normally happens. So you see this in the matches. Someone is about to hit a backhander. So one player goes to try and position himself, and normally at the last second, this guy turns a little bit to this side. Why? Because he knows the ball is going to go that way. So he wants to put the legs of his horse to prevent that shot happening. The closer he gets, the more chances there are that he will stop that ball. Let's say this ball comes through, this player is already running. If the defending player is already first, and it's a game of anticipation. This is a very fast game. The horses are all very fast. You probably don't have much advantage on horses, so it's all anticipation. A fraction of a second decision, it means 2-3 meters of distance between horses. If you turn 1 second earlier, you're going to have 5 meters, even 10 meters advantage on your player. Anticipation. And then you have a clear shot. If you wait for this to happen, then everyone is, okay, the ball is going there, let's go all there. Now the ball is going there, let's go all there. Now you have to anticipate, yeah? You have to, okay, what is my player going to do? And sometimes, and these are all subtleties of the game, but Victoria knows that Helen is ready to turn that way. You did this a couple of times. Oh, I'm sure they're going to do it again. And then Victoria says, open, and goes this. And they outsmarted you. Because Andrew also can hit a very good, nice open backhand.
Well done, Andrew. You're very active tonight.
Yeah. So these are all little tricks that you start thinking about. Because now, for you guys, you now can hit the ball pretty much from every shot. You know, harder or small. But forward shots on the offside, forward and back, you can hit the ball no problem.
Near side.
So just playing on the offside and positioning yourself right off. Okay, sometimes you cannot help it. You're going to ride off from the left and you're going to have the ball on your near side. But if you can avoid it and you say, okay, actually I want to hit on this side, I'm going to ride off from the other side. So you have the ball on the offside. Yeah. Important on the ride off. Maybe just one more point on the ride off, which is the speed. The speed at which you ride off. Yeah. Very important that it at the same speed or slightly or not very different, because if Peter comes at 20 kilometers per hour and Tula comes this direction at 40 kilometers per hour, what happens? This may happen. You may overshoot and then Peter carries on in the same direction, knocks you over. So you have to be at or very similar speed. You want to be a little bit faster just to nudge, put your knee in front of the other player's knee. So you have an advantage. It's harder for a horse to push from behind. But it's important that both players keep the same speed. If Peter suddenly stops with Josita there, that creates a problem. Yeah?
Before he gets into a position to ride you off, you're going to be swinging your stick around, right, to stop him from moving in.
So let's say this, and this is an evolving situation. Let's say I'm trying to get the ball that way. He's chasing from behind. First, he's going to try to hook me. Has a fast horse, comes closer and closer. When he reaches that point, he may want to ride me off, and then try to. So he can evolve from one to the other, so long as there are no fouls in between. So long as there is no foul hook, or we are at the same speed and it's a legal ride-off. So, things happen sometimes, and unintentionally, you're about to hit. You think the ball is on your side, but suddenly he pushes me, and I end up hitting the ball just there, and I cross. That's a foul. It happens because in the tussle of the moment, they just move me away.
But at that point, more often than not, you just carry on the ride off, and then your teammates behind.
Yeah. Precisely. So you think of the situation, who's behind. So the best, let's say he has a strong horse. I know if I try to get the ball, I will have to put my weight on this side, so I lose ground. So I basically just forget about the ball, get my whip out, get the horse to push away, because someone behind comes. And this is when you tell me, hey, just take the man, leave the ball. Take the man, leave the ball, and forget about the ball. Now you have very hungry for ball players that never ever leave the ball, and you get very annoyed with them, because what happens if I hit the ball? Now the next shot he may win the tussle, and then because he's a better player than me, so he will maybe I have one shot, but in the context of the play, I basically waste an opportunity with my player behind.
Yeah, who's free to hit it.
Exactly. So it's the responsibility from the one behind. If I'm not seeing, say, Pato, just leave the ball. Take the man, leave the ball. So I would just, okay, I sacrifice myself on behalf of the team to...
maybe he hits the ball and then suddenly it's on my side and I can hit it.
Yeah. Because yesterday we were practicing with Emma and Marcus near side shots. It's actually more difficult than the near side backhander, because your weight goes on that side, so you end up normally hitting the ball to the other, a bit under the neck to the other side, like 8 times out of 10. You just hit. So what happens is you give the ball away, because he's already. I have to put my weight on this side, so I'm already losing ground. This guy is coming with all the might and strength, gets me out, and he has an easy shot next shot around, and I'm not going to hit a very far near side forward. It's going to be like 10, 20 yards just to get it going. Whereas he can hit up, if he has space, pumba, he can hit a very, very big backhander. Now just on the set plays, just for you to remember, this is a normal size field, yeah. So whenever this is a 30-yard line, 40-yard line, 60-yard line, halfway line, 60, 40, 30, roughly, let's say, and then these are the goals. So when you hit in, let's say the hitting in team, they can be anywhere on the field. The defending team has to give 30 yards space. So the closest this guy can be is here on the 30-yard line. Now, obviously, but there has to be a distance. So this guy cannot be waiting here. All right. So that's why you know, when you hit in, I was actually making you wait. Take your space. The hitting in team can be whatever, in front, in back, whatever. But these guys have to give space. Now, and that's penalized. If you consistently are inside of the 30 yards, and the umpire normally calls 30 yards, if this guy keeps insisting, they get a penalty against them. So you have to be, you know, the ball when it is off bounds at the back, the clock doesn't stop. There is sufficient time given to both teams to position themselves, but they mustn't just take the make out of it. Just you know, you have to be ready quick. And also, it is in your best interest to be defending in the right place, because these guys are going to take off. They're going to be ready to run. So if the blue ones are faffing around too much, the umpire may say play. So, you know, you have to be ready. You're going to lean on the left side a bit more, and a bit, you know, more forward. Imagine you're stepping on the steering. You're going to pull the rein. So you need to try and keep it there. When you rotate, try to keep it still. Yeah? And then you rotate your shoulders up there, and then you follow without hitting the horse's